You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Brian Polian is no longer a part of the LSU football program. This was certainly not expected news today. Brian Polian earlier on Twitter posted a message announcing that he is leaving LSU to go back to his alma mater, Carroll University, and he'll take on a new role there as their athletic director. Said it was a difficult decision, but clear it was the right choice for his family and where his children and their children are in their lives. They're ready to set roots and serve a place they love. So when you look at his time, his coaching career, this is a guy that's moved around a bunch. He did, by the way, thank a lot of people at LSU. Scott Woodward, Stephanie Remp, Kelly Zinn, Beth Rex. Obviously talked about Brian Kelly as well. And they have had a long history together, coaching together, which we'll talk about here in a second. But, you know, part of it makes sense when you look at Brian Polian. And I know what we're going to talk about, and I know where this conversation is going to go naturally, and it should go there. We'll talk about it. But Brian Polian's 48 years old, so he's not an old man by any stretch, just at 48. But at 48, he began his coaching career back in 1997 as a grad assistant at Michigan State. He's gone from Michigan State to Buffalo to Baylor, back to Buffalo to Central Florida to Notre Dame from 2005 to 2009. Then went to Stanford, Texas A&M, Nevada, back to Notre Dame, and then LSU. That's 11 moves, y'all. 11 moves since 1997. 11 moves in 26 years. I mean, from the time he was 22, finished playing, started his coaching career, he has made 11 different moves. It is very hard on coaches and their families to be so transient. That it's part of what you accept when you do this job, but that's what he alluded to in his post there by going back home to Carroll. And, you know, by the way, Carroll is in Ohio, for those that don't know. So it's an opportunity for Brian Polian to go back home and maybe set roots and be at one place for a long time, which I understand. I understand the cynic is going to look at this and say, and nobody's going to shed a tear, right? I understand the jokes that are going to be made. It's sort of the Twitter cynical nature of our society. You do you. And as far as the special teams role, you're not wrong. There is a metric. It's a special teams efficiency metric, which we've referenced a couple of times here. And it basically combines your efficiency at all the different special teams, the disciplines in special, all the different units, right? LSU was 125th a year ago on their FEI special teams rankings. 125 out of 131. Okay, 131 teams play major college football. LSU in the special teams efficiency rankings was 125th. Here it is right here. If you don't believe me, you want to pull that up, Paulie? There they are right there. LSU was 125th. The only teams that were worse than LSU on special teams a year ago were New Mexico State, Tulsa, Iowa State, Boston College, UL Monroe, and San Jose State. That's it. LSU was 120. They were bad. There's a reason why Brian Polian was promptly removed after one season as special teams coordinator. But what I will also talk about is that what's true in football is true in business and any sort of organizational structure, which is that you value certain people and you find ways to keep them on your team if you have good people. And when I look at Brian Kelly, you have to be honest with yourself here if you're an LSU fan, and you have to acknowledge Brian Kelly is a very smart man. He's a smart man. He's a great leader, organizer. He knows what he's looking for in people and in what roles. And Brian Polian is someone who was on staff with him from 2017 to 2021 at Notre Dame. And when Brian Kelly got the LSU job, the first hire he made was Polian. And even though it went very poorly on the field in 2022 for Polian and special teams, he didn't fire him. he reassigned him to keep him on staff and made him the general manager of the LSU football program. He saw that much value in Brian Polian. So you can make all the jokes and cracks you want about special teams, and you're not wrong. They were bad. They were very bad, which is why he's not in that role anymore. But clearly, he has attributes that Brian Kelly coveted as an advisor and a resource on his staff. So to that end, it is a loss. I'll also remind you, Brian Polian not only was the special teams coordinator a year ago, he was also the recruiting coordinator. So there is no on-field staff member right now with the title of recruiting coordinator. J.R. Belton is the director of recruiting. But remember, J.R. Belton is not an on-field staff member, which he cannot recruit off campus. He can only recruit on campus. Now, you can get waivers and things like that. So you do not have an on-field recruiting coordinator right now for whatever that's worth. Just another thing to file away here. Look, LSU had to make a change at special teams coordinator. They did. Hopefully they're better. It would be hard to be worse. There's only 6 spots from the bottom. It would be hard to be worse. So that move was necessary. But I also trust Brian Kelly that he knows what he wants in staff members and assistants and who he trusts, and trusted Brian Polian. And to that end, that is a loss, not having him as part of the LSU program moving forward. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.